Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of Token Games Podcast. I'm your host and sometimes referee, Zach Stat Pearson, and today we are currently, because we'll have more people later on as time goes by, the officer to end all officers because his aim is terrible, a 1-9001.
Hey, my aim is actually pretty good. Hey, what's up?
Where the fuck did you even get a gun? And of course, we have the true soldier boy to choke the life out of all other soldier boys because he's an asshole and no one likes him. And he really shouldn't have made albums. My battle, your battle. The Prince of Wakanda, a Mr. Ehil.
We have 1 week before we can all get bodied by a fucking plant.
I swear to God, if someone picks Smash Brothers reference, I swear to God, if somebody picks PD Piranha, I am purposely going to target them. How the fuck does it even have feet? Let me not start. This week's topics are holy shit, after over a decade of development hell, we're finally getting Cowboy Bebop in some form of live action. They have not exposed anybody who's playing the characters, but they have revealed the original director and the creator is on the team. Who do you guys want to see play your favorite space cowboys? Topic 2. Senator Cortez Masto has asked that the game industry's ESRB in USA to actively self-regulate loot boxes, aka gambling. The F.T.C, Federal Trade Commission for you non-Americans who don't listen to this podcast, however, has found that their attempts at child gambling regulation is practically non-existent. Do you think that since they basically got lied to in a hearing, the F.T.C and the government will get in that ass? Or do you think based on the history of ignoring the rule of law, the government is useless in fighting them? Topic 3. Shaudi ankr. No, I do not think I'm saying that correctly. As you know, has acquired rights to create a Devil May Cry show. But which era in Dante's life would you like to see him in? Or would you like to see a brand new Dante in a different timeline? And no, I don't mean DMC Zero DINO. Topic 4. Hypothetically, unless we get some bad news from Maury Povich, we don't have kids. Are there any kinds of games and genres, gambling excluded, that you would not be comfortable letting your child under the age of 14 play? I need to edit that. So, who's got the balls to go first?
I'll go.
Okay, just remember you're going through all the questions at once. All right, Cowboy, what do you want to see happen?
All right. Topic 1, before I really dive into who I want to see. Kind of worried about it. I mean, you do have the original directors, but still live action. Very scared. We're moving on past the fears. If they were going to do one for live action, I want to say, goddamn, it was the black guy with the robot arm.
That was Jet. Ironically, Jet Black. Even though he wasn't actually tinted black, it was weird.
That I would love to see him be played by Terry Crews. Because he's big enough.
Oh, damn.
Funny enough to pull
I
off.
kind of want to see that now, too. I kind of want to see that. Okay, who you want to see play Spike?
Pulling off Spike, I don't have a single one, but if I were to shoot off actors off the top of my head, Clint Eastwood.
What the fuck?
I don't know. I'm trying to think of his coolness, also of this.
Oh, I thought you meant literally Clint Eastwood. I'm like, do you realize Spike is not ancient?
Yeah, I was about to say.
Fuck. It's like so hard because
I know it's Spike. We've never had to think about it. For the longest time, they told us, oh, Fox got the licensing rights and Keanu Reeves is going to be Spike. But that was like 11 years ago. So I never thought about it, which is why I'm trying to think of my own personal choice before it gets to me.
I don't know. That's a very hard mantle to fill. It's like
Fuck
asking
yeah.
who would you want to play Roger Smith and Big O. Like, I cannot give you an answer at this time.
Fair enough. Well, I mean, this one may come off as a little bit lackadaisical, but Electra or Faye? Which one do you prefer?
Faye.
Okay. Who would you want to see play Faye?
The Asian chick out of Pacific Rim.
Yeah, I heard she's getting popularity. I know you're talking about, but I can't think of her name. We should probably look that up later on. Okay, that's definitely interesting. I won't ask you about Ed because, well, they could bullshit Ed. Now, like, technically, most of you don't even realize Ed is a fucking girl until after they watched it the second or third time and Faye says it in one sentence. But,
I figured it out almost immediately.
I had to give it a few watches, not gonna lie.
I went by the voice actor, and then I got thrown off. I had the answer right, but then I got thrown off. People said, "Well, you know, she's one of those voice actors that usually plays young toddler aged boys, right?" I was like, "Oh shit! Well then maybe Ed's not a girl, but no, Ed is a fucking girl." I'm gonna be pissed if somebody's mind gets blown from that. Let me just say. All right, well.
And then the dog can be played by a dog.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, just get a corgi.
Yeah. All right, topic 2. And for the record, yeah, that did happen. I watched the whole thing. They basically said that we noticed you guys are fucking up and you're the cause of this shit. Here's some correlating stats. Are you going to fix this shit? Do you want this to continue? But then, you know, nothing happened. So...
Do I think they're going to get into people's asses about loot boxing?
Do you think the government is going to fuck up the games boards or the games as a whole for America because they're not regulating their child gambling? And they're going to find out real soon that they're not even fucking trying to regulate it. Or do you think that they're going to just try to pour money at it and get away with this shit? Because so far, they failed in almost every single country they've tried it. Belgium fucked them. Sweden fucked them. I think Dutch fucked them too.
I know for sure we're going to fuck them and try to get in that ass.
Yeah, because, you know, it's kind of hard to fuck with the Federal Trade Commission. They're not completely independent of traditional government, but, you know, Congress really can't fuck with them unless it's a legitimately important thing. And also, there's a senator and most of the DNC don't want them to do what they're doing. And as you know, we just got the floor. So, yeah. Good luck. Or in their case, bad gambling luck.
Yeah. Because I was just thinking that in early times, certain games caused us to have an ESRB rating because people were afraid of violence to our kids, like GTA and Mortal Kombat. So now this problem is apparently rising again, where they're worried that our kids are going to get addicted to gambling because they can't get their favorite Tracer skin at the loot box.
Oh yeah. Hey, you guys want to hear something funny about the ESRB rating system?
Sure.
Shoot.
Did y'all know that it covered gambling?
I did not.
Guess what label is the only label that's allowed to have gambling?
M.
Nope.
Adult only.
Yup. Gambling is supposed to automatically change a game's age rating to adult only. The fucking label that they all fear. And they're just ignoring it. But yeah, continue.
sales because even if the kid knows the game isn't going to be that bad, we all know how hard it was to get your parents to buy you GTA in the past anyway.
Yeah, and that's just because one game had a flaw that nobody even really accessed.
So I think that's what's going to come back and bite them.
The government strikes back.
No.
All right, topic 3. Mm-hmm.
For Devil May Cry series, I kind of want like a more of a side character focus. Like, what the fuck do Trish and Lady do when they're not like helping out Dante save the world and shit?
Yeah, I would, dude. Damn it! Now I can't use that. But yeah, I had the same question because here's the thing: Trish is a demon dressed as a human. Trish is not from the demonic world, and she is for lack of a better term, she's a supernatural alien to the earthly realm. And she stopped working with Dante within the same year that they started. Where the fuck is she doing? Where does she live? Now, Lady, I can somewhat understand. They live in the same city, so it wouldn't be hard for her to do something. And if you look at her character, it kind of feels like Lady's a mechanic on the side or something. It could easily feel that way. But yeah, I can't use that now, so continue.
And another thing I'd like to see is like, what the fuck happened to Nero in the past where he got his crazy arm thing for him?
That's actually a pretty good one.
Might have been explained more in 4. I haven't got to finish it yet because a lot of games came out in fucking 2015 or 16 that I was waiting for.
Well, to be fair, there actually isn't one in the fucking game, which annoys the fuck out of everyone. Because this is a story that doesn't even start in the beginning of itself.
So to me, there's a lot of too many holes in their new pass the torch type Dante character they're trying to sell us.
Okay,
well, so I want to know how he became what he became.
Okay, were those your main points, or did you have something else?
No, that's it.
Okay. All right.
And then for topic 4.
Yeah.
What games do I not have my child play?
Games or genres would you not be comfortable with your kid playing, excluding gambling, if there is even any?
Before 14, they will not play any of the Silent Hill games just because I don't think they probably freak the fuck out of it. Also, they wouldn't enjoy it and understand it. They're not gonna try to play any of the Dead or Alive extreme game. You want to watch porn, do it on the computer like a fucking man.
Oh man, I wanted to make that joke so bad. Oh yeah, I mean, if they're gonna watch porn, they might as well watch actual porn.
I don't know, because again, I'm not a parent, and also I've played a lot of games. Hey, this will be a lot more different from people who would have, but if I were to choose one more game, it'd probably just be Maximo 2, because game was insane. Y'all ain't ready for that.
Okay.
That's it.
I got you. All right, well, as always, good answers in that, Jazz. But for me, because I'm going to go next, I'm going to start with topic.
Oh, I'm going last? Okay.
I mean, dude, first off, I almost always go last. Why you say it like that?
I'm just surprised.
Oh, okay. Well, what I'm doing is I think it would be a good idea for me if, as far as topic one goes, I would have said Keanu Reeves, but he's technically he hasn't really aged out of his role. Because remember, they work on space time. Faye is from Earth. I think Jet is from a colony. And Spike was born on Mars. Okay? So, Spike could have met Jet and they could have been hanging out for 3 years. But since they're on literal space-time, for all we know, based on this distance, Spike could have been going for a decade. You know? Like, there's so many different ways they could have swung that shit. But anyways, the way it comes across to me is, as far as Spike, the closest, and again, I understand that this is going to be somewhat of a, sensitive topic for people. But for me, I think that the only person or only people who could possibly play Spike would be, nope. Damn it. He's still super buff. Spike can be chiseled, but he can't be like The Rock, built like a tank. Well, he's dead, but if he wasn't dead, my first choice would be Paul Walker. Now, if you don't remember who that is, he's the guy who was technically the original main character in Fast and Furious, the one that died when they was filming movie 7. Paul Walker, I feel like, can pull it off because, first off, he's got the right amount of manliness, but still it's subtle feeling to his voice. Second, I don't know what they're going to do with that hair, but they could easily, dye his shit a little tinted dark green, and they could give him some red eyes. Like, you can just see him being that guy that he gets fancy for women, but when he gets home, he's a fucking slobber. He walks around in his pajamas all day. Paul Walker is my first choice. Now, my second choice, and this may be a little bit more controversial. I can't remember his name, but I'm assuming we've all watched Game of Thrones.
No.
Yep.
Bruh. Well, you in Korea, but still. It started before you left. Okay. I would pick, I can't remember him, but what is the name of Rob's firstborn child? The one that died in season 1.
Shoot.
I know. Whoever played, just try to look him up. Like the actor that played, see, there's Ned Stark. So would it be Rob Stark? Rob, Ned, Kit Harington's character. Bran is the youngest boy, or the second youngest boy. Whoever played the Ned Stark's first son, or Robert Stark's first son, that dude, if you shave his mustache, you change his hairstyle, straighten that shit or whatever, he could do Spike because, first off, he's got the build as far as his body frame and skeleton. And all you got to do is give him some fucking muscle, and not even that much. He could easily pull it off. And also, I think he's taller than Kit Harington. So, yeah. Now, as far as Jet, I was going to say The Rock at first because here's the thing. The muscles don't mean much because technically we don't know if Jet is swole or not because he can hide his muscles with his overalls that he's always in. So what I'm thinking is we get somebody who we know is swole but not too swole. And, he could match the density of that fucking arm. So the way I'm looking at it is... what was his name? Maybe he might be considered too old, but it kind of benefits the character. If we could de-age Lou Ferrigno at least 20 years, we're good. Because here's the thing. As old as Lou Ferrigno is, he constantly dyes his hair. So no one even sees gray hair, has never seen him with gray hair. Yes, I am aware he speaks with a bit of a lisp. But at the same time, he's old and he got the build and he has a youthful appearance. So if you stop and think about it, Lou Ferrigno. And my second choice, if he hadn't got in trouble, because he got the voice for it, and he's got that I'm totally jaded. He can pull up that I'm totally jaded personality. Hulk Hogan, if he hadn't gotten in trouble. If Hulk Hogan hadn't gotten in trouble, he could have been Jet. That being said, we all know Jet's skin tone is a little bit unusual. So I'm not even going to say he was always a black person or is a black person. I'm not sure what Jet would fall under. He's pale, but his face was constructed differently. Now, as far as Faye, first off, normally my response would be anybody except goddamn, what's her name? Anybody except fucking Scarlett Johansson. Please don't do Scarlett Johansson. I would pick somebody who is young enough to where you can't actually tell how young they are. So, like, if this movie came out 8 years from now, I would say go get Chloe Grace Moretz, and of course change her hairstyle. Make sure she still ain't got them baby teeth thing going on, because you know she's probably stopped growing and she's probably still a midget. And as you know, Faye was shorter than everybody, but she always had them heels. Or alternatively, another one is no, it's not Jennifer Lawrence. Actually, you know what? Let me look her up, how to spell her name or say it right, because there's a person I always get Charlize Theron mixed up with. Yeah, I'm on Google right now. You might hear me typing. Oh, no, it is her. Yeah, Charlize Theron. I feel like she could pull it off because as old as she is, obviously she doesn't look it. And that's kind of sort of like Faye's biggest claim to fame. She's 43, but even without makeup, you know, she doesn't look that far up there. I don't think there is anybody who's not new that could play Ed, to be honest, because Ed is just a thing. But fucking but
Damn it.
yeah, but if I had to think of somebody just off the top of my hat, I would go and get someone who's short and it's easy for them to tan. But the thing is, you know, mixed race child actors aren't that common in Hollywood. More than likely, they probably get a midget adult. So I would say Jane Levy, because Jane Levy, she's got a good acting career. The only thing she hasn't played is a hyperactive motherfucker, but she's 5'2". She's like my age, but she's 5'2". So you give her the right amount of makeup, cover up them baggy eyelids, she good. She is totally good. So yeah, those are my primary ones. Who am I missing? Was there somebody else I wanted in particular? Oh, yeah. I fucking love Elektra. So I want someone to play Elektra. And the person I want to play Elektra, well, if you asked me a long time ago, I would have said Halle Berry, but Halle Berry does not have enough meat on her bones to even pretend to be some type of combatant. But I think for Elektra, and people, there's more than one Elektra. I'm not talking about Daredevil. For Elektra, let me see if I can pull her up. I would want, or rather spell her name right. Give me a second. Fuck no, get out of here, Lucy Lawless. damn it. How do you say this name? Okay. Did anybody here see Kingsman or Hotel Artemis?
I saw the first Kingsman.
Okay. You remember the girl that was on stilts? The blade stilts. She was cutting people up with foot blades.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I can't remember her name. Oh, there it is. Sophia Botella. You give her just a little bit of tan because she's mixed where when she gets in the sun, that girl is like golden brown. Sophia Botella. Does she have the build? Fuck no. But at this point, she's got the combat experience and she's got that scary face that switches on when she's pissed about something, much like Elektra. If we get her, I'm happy. Because, well, I'm sure we've all noticed it, but there's damn near no combat women in Hollywood that actually have muscle. Visible muscle. You know? So yeah, that's my crew. Now, on to topic 2. Like I said, I watched Senator Cortez Masto basically be nice because you know how it is. Most of these people, they ain't playing shit. They just know that it needs to be regulated from time to time. But at least she did her homework first. So what I think is going to happen is someone's going to bring up to them when they eventually end up in court again. Why are you going over here ignoring court orders? You're an American company doing this shit because you could cause an international incident. You're a $1 billion company ignoring the equivalent of federal law in an allied nation. And also talk to them about the hypocrisy of their own rating system. Because you can tell when she was looking at shit, she didn't know what nothing was. She just understood, oh, nah, y'all can't be having kids gambling. Fix your shit. Because I think they're going to try to get Congress on their side, but it's not going to work. It's not going to work. Because as far as the game industry is concerned, Congress as a whole doesn't care about them until they get in trouble to where the common public wants them to do something. If you stop and think about it, Mortal Kombat, canceling a phone call. Mortal Kombat only got as big as it did because it was the one that had commercials and talked about the shit. Mortal Kombat was not the first game to have these types of issues or have gore and blood and crap like that in it. But here's the thing. What was popular at that time Mortal Kombat came out? Street Fighter. It was everywhere. It was the equivalent of a 99-cent prostitute. So, there's a pun in there somewhere. So here is the most popular and famous genre currently going right now. Right? The most popular and famous one. And here is a horror at the time. They literally called it a horror game. It was hilarious. Here is a horror version of this fucking game. So immediately it got more attention than expected. And fuck, what was my point again? Oh yeah, so I think that's all it is. It's just a continuation of what we already knew. The video game industry will get away with anything it wants to until somebody tells them not to. The only thing the ESRB really does is make sure somebody doesn't fuck up so much that they fuck it up for everyone. And now we might as well have an ESRB equivalent for microtransactions and gambling. And they don't even have to have this problem. All they technically got to do, which is what I would like to see, have a gambling and non-gambling version. Whatever they have, gambling and a non-gambling version. So yeah, that's how I feel about it. What I want will not happen, more than likely. But what the Federal Trade Commission says and does and watches them do will determine a lot. Because right now, they're not on the F.T.C's bad side. Right now. But they might be a little bit more scared too because, well, if you stop and think about it, They pissed off other governments because they knew that they had America in their back pocket, more than likely. But they ain't got the F.T.C. in their pocket. People try to get the F.T.C. in their pocket. And luckily, or fortunately, maybe it's just a fluke, it's usually a lot harder than normal. Because I promise you, tobacco as an industry, they want the F.T.C. in their pocket ever since they got out of it. You think they want e-cigarettes or to make e-cigarettes or have people fucking buy their shit through e-cig crap? Hell nah. They want you puffing. They don't care how they get their money. They just hate when somebody try to shorten it. We're talking about an industry worth billions of dollars that creates child smokers in 14 other countries and does absolutely nothing about it because they know they can pay off the government. But yeah, that's more of a philosophical thing and also a story for another time. You know?
Yeah.
Alrighty. Fuck. Which one am I on? Oh, 4? Okay. Unless we get some bad news, which games would I want my kids to play?
Wait, did you skip over Devil May Cry?
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Topic 3. Yeah. All right. So I knew my answer would be long because I'm pretty sure everyone here knows I fucking love Devil May Cry. The ones that don't involve DINO, of course. Okay. So I've been trying to compress it. This is what I have so far. What I want is for every season to start at the ending of a previous game. So the first season is immediately after Lady and Dante finish taking out those demons that were around them in the ending of Devil May Cry 3. That's what I want. So that way it's still in canon, or if he wants to deviate, we at least have a starting point and know where Dante is as far as powers and abilities. Now, I'm pretty sure most of us have seen the anime, which is very, very polarizing. But here's the thing people always forget. Dante, by his own admission, does not oftentimes find a good challenge when he's devil hunting. Also, he does not pop his devil trigger every 5 seconds. He almost never even has a use for it.
I mean, really, if he was popping it that often, the ladies wouldn't like him.
Not to mention, they still have been up unless we get into the Devil May Cry 2 era. Remember, his demon side really didn't start coming out manually until sometime in between Devil May Cry. What was it? Devil May Cry. In between Devil May Cry 1 and Devil May Cry 4. Normally, Dante had to die or something had to happen to his heart. Unfortunately, it was usually impalement. That doesn't stop until sometime in between Devil May Cry 1 and 4. In 2, he had an amulet that could help him trigger it. No pun intended for the record. That time. So, I want to see, Dante pay his bills. Remember, they also said that he used to be a mercenary, or he's also a mercenary on the side, depending on what translations you use. Okay, well, where's some of Dante's army and military friends? Put Dante in a war zone. Watch that man go to work. That would explain a lot about his gun control. Because being able to shoot like that is one thing, but, being accurate, that's a whole nother mess of shit. So the way I'm looking at it, that's how I want every season to start. And if someone says, or if they look at the ratings and reviews and someone says, okay, this season was too boring, they know they can skip to a season where the next, they go through another game. They don't have to be in chronological order, but it would make me feel better if they did though. But also, they have the occasional hour-long special, or they devote one episode in its entirety to some of his homies. Just think about it. There are characters that are in the books, which sometimes they are canon, sometimes they aren't, because none of the people who make the games pay attention to story, and the actual developers and producers don't even want to read the fucking books. The producer of almost every Devil May Cry has never read the fucking books that are canon. You know how trippy that shit is? So, the way I'm looking at it, I want a Trish episode because we know the least about her habits. And I want a Virgil episode because he's the only one who would constantly be dealing with fights and combat. Remember, he put himself in hell on purpose. On purpose. Trish left, didn't come back. Virgil started here, went down there. You know? How did he lose the Mundus? Maybe he was losing the Mundus, but then he made him look at a fake version of his mother who was actually Trish, and Trish killed him or weakened him enough for Mundus to take control of his body or his soul. It's really unclear. Oh no, it's his soul inside of an Angelo armor. Yeah. You know, there's so many untold stories and no blanks ever get filled. No blanks ever get filled. We didn't know who made Dante's guns unless you legit read the book. But then his guns say made for Tony Redgrave. 45 caliber artworks. Who the fuck is Tony Redgrave? We technically don't even really find that out till almost 8 years later. You know? There's so many things and so many ways they can incorporate shit. And also, if he gets licensing permission, you know he can do a crossover with Bayonetta, right?
Oh, hell yeah.
That'd be beautiful.
And imagine if that was like the first episode. Everything else would just immediately be a downhill spiral. Fucking. Okay. Who am I forgetting? There was something else I want to see. Oh, yeah. I don't give a fuck about Nero. Fuck Nero. Not to mention, at this point in time, Nero is either not born or Nero is too young to be any form of a devil hunter and shit like that. So, fuck you, Nero. Love you, Johnny Young Bosch. Fuck you, Nero. By the way, his band put out a new album. It's coming out soon. Look it up. Yeah, Johnny Young Bosch is actually a gifted guitar player, and he writes his own shit. But most people don't realize that. There's a couple Power Rangers who are musicians. Yay, Corey's here. So, besides, a day in the life of Lady, a day in the life of Trish, I would also like to see something happen in some of the seasons where in one episode in particular, hey Corey, in one episode in particular that everybody has to come together to do something, or it builds up into a giant fight where everyone has to show up, I would you have no idea how much time I've spent thinking about a fucking Devil May Cry television show. Oh my God. Oh my God. So anyways, yeah, that's my shit. Now, as far as topic 4, I think I'm going to ride Hill's coattails a little bit because even though they creeped us out when we were little, horror games and shit like that, here's the thing most people don't realize. It's only gotten worse for little kids because graphics got better. So I don't want my kid coming anywhere near the entire Resident Evil franchise in the modern era. Like if that game came out before 2000, hey, I'm okay with that. But if that game came out after that, miss me with that shit. No Silent Hill either. And even though I play it, and I just want to clarify why I play it later, the Dead or Alive franchise, starting with game number 3 and going into the current game, 6. Now, for the record, let me just say, Dead or Alive was not always a sexual thing. Maybe because of graphical capabilities at the time, or because, the idiot didn't realize what was and what wasn't selling in his own game. But Dead or Alive has a very competent combat system. It really does. And one of the biggest mistakes I hear or get is that people assume that, if you play this game, it's just because you're a fucking pervert. No. So I'm used to the bullshit that comes with it. I've been playing Dead or Alive pretty much since its explosion in the American marketplace, which is Dead or Alive 2 in 1998 or 99, if memory serves. and I've been catching hell forever. And sometimes I know that there's nothing I can't do. Not to drag this out too much, but there was a girl I met at Dead or Alive tournament. No, I wasn't trying to get with her or nothing. Her name was Jessie or Claudia. And one day we were talking about video games and possible, her helping me find people or telling me about talent that might have something to do with, my game design at the time. Because this was in my early days when I was figuring out, before I even knew, okay, who needs to be on my team in the business sense, not who do I want on my team, like how to properly structure shit. And I don't know if it was a combination of the fact that I used to have dragon text to speech, because hey, if you really want to knock out an essay fast, dragon text to speech, or it was the computer at the times built-in text to speech that I had. A commercial came on. I went to the bathroom. My friend was chilling with me, and it picked up some shit that made it sound like I was trying to get her to find me, women only, or people built to look a certain way or some shit. And my dumbass, when I grabbed my phone, the fatty part of my thumb, actually, what the fuck is that even called? But the fatty area on your that connects your thumb to your hand, press send. And instead of like trying to delete it before she see it, I straight up owned up to was like, hey, listen, I don't know how this statement came out. This is basically equivalent of a mistext or a typo for the record. I'm not trying to get you to like scout some hot chicks or some shit for me. Because no matter what I get accused of, I think the main reason that, or at least from what I know, my friends don't give a shit, or rather they know it's not true, is because certain things wouldn't make sense. As in, if I'm a manho and doing all this other shit and this, that, and the third, why is it that I am telling other people about manhos and this and that and the third? I'm pretty sure Matt could tell you some stories. But she just stopped talking to me altogether. She did that thing where she's pretending she doesn't know how blacklists work, and then she defriended me and acted like I didn't exist. I'm like, man, come on, what the fuck? But at the same time, you can't force somebody to believe you. You just can't. But it sucks more in the internet era because that person that doesn't believe you can spread the disbelief through the internet, or more often than not, fucking Facebook. So, I mean, I didn't encounter any immediate ramifications, but that doesn't mean I wanted it to happen, But I digress. Such is life. I was a little sad by it, but it's been at least close to I believe 6 years since Dead or Alive 5 came out. I'm over it. I'm totally over it. If I saw her in person, I would still try to tell her, because I don't know if she read my explanation, but that's the end of it. But yeah, where was I? Oh yeah, so those are pretty much it. The only exceptions were I would force my children to purposely play a stupid hard game that whoops their ass damn near eternally until they hit a certain age, because, well, we're all gamers. We know some games were never hard. We just thought they were hard because our brains and our bodies weren't developed enough to be able to handle it. I'm giving my kids fucking Ninja Gaiden, and they will know true anger, so I can teach them they are not...
And suffering.
Yes. So I can teach them how not to grow up to be Kanye's. Accept that you lost. Accept that you can learn from losing more or as much as you learn from winning. Accept that your daddy's still better than you. And that Vegeta's a bitch. Because Vegeta is a bitch. Man, he's my favorite character. Why you hate him so much? Because most of the fights he loses, which is almost all of them, get everybody else fucked. No, it doesn't. Okay, what fight did Vegeta win alone that didn't get people fucked afterwards? Don't worry, I'll wait. Not movie fights either. Actual fights.
The only one I can think of is Jace.
Yeah, like the Ginyu Force. That was it. That was totally it. The Ginyu Force. and Frieza's army. But guess what? Most of the people he beat in Frieza's army happened off screen. That was the funny part to me. So yeah. Anyways. All right. Officer, I'm gonna let you go next just because Corey needs time to absorb everything. And while that's happening, I am going to go raid my refrigerator real quick.
Well, topic 1. I'll be straight with you right now. I can't think of anyone to play Spike. I can't.
It's hard.
But I got plenty of ideas for the others. Let's see here. Starting off with Jet. Let's go with the actor who played Heimdall in the Thor movies. I believe his name was Idris Elba. Because, yeah, as far as I see it, Jet was, he's pretty much a black man.
Cord.
Let's see here. As for Faye, how's about Jennifer Garner?
No. Fucking crazy.
What?
She's
Why?
almost 50.
I suppose. Okay, then, shoot. Yeah, it's oh well. Then, let's see here. For Vicious, though,
You know what?
I'm
That's
thinking
one I
Jason
forgot about.
Isaacs.
I forgot Vicious.
Because Jason Isaacs, he can play a pretty good villain, and I think he'd do pretty good as Vicious as well.
I got a Vicious pick because I just thought about him.
Oh?
Dolph Lundgren.
Oh, that'd be another good choice.
Yeah, because see, people forget that, he's still very athletic, but he's toned down his muscle. So that means that if you just give him some long hair, he already got the eye lines built into his face. All you got to do is stare at everyone like, I'm depressed, but I'm going to kill you anyway. Like Dolph Lundgren.
Pretty much. Okay, now, you might disagree with me here, but for Ed, I'm thinking maybe Sarah Silverman?
She's almost 50. She's 48.
Really?
Nigga,
Damn.
what the fuck is wrong with you?
I don't really keep track of the ages of these actors.
Nah,
Sorry.
nah. You just so horny. You want old women. Don't even lie.
I just thought Sarah Silverman could get the personality down, no problem, since she did pretty good as, Vanellope in,
That was a cartoon.
Wreck-It Ralph.
Now,
That's
I would
fine.
agree with you. If this was a CG version, I would totally agree with you. That being said, I'm just kind of curious. Name a female actor right now that you like. Just anybody. Go ahead. I'm curious.
Who was it who played the main character in Hunger Games?
You seriously don't know who Jennifer Lawrence is?
Was it Jennifer Lawrence, really?
Who the fuck did you think it was? Okay, it looks like he'll have to leave because it's 6 a.m. and he wants to go to bed. Keep in mind, he is not currently in the same time zone as the rest of us. But who the fuck did you think it was?
Could have sworn it was someone else. Sorry. Oh. Right, since you're clearly just going to keep bitching if I continue talking on topic 1, let's go with topic 2.
Oh, okay. You're
ESRB
just gonna
is,
ruin my joy of finding out you like old people.
ESRB is going to continue defending all this loot box stuff as they have been, but I'm pretty sure the F.T.C. is going to listen to that shit, since there is now precedents set over in the UK. There's an actual study that points, to loot boxes and all that as a pretty likely cause of I think it was quadrupling of the children getting to gambling.
Yeah, they the amount of child gamblers increased by, I believe, almost triple. And that's what
studies like that one that Congress won't be able to ignore that. So the F.T.C. is probably gonna take it to them and go like, hey, look at this. Here's direct evidence. But who knows, maybe the big AAA publishers are gonna pay off the congressman. Regardless, though, it's in the U.S. at least, it's gonna be a bit of a long fight. But I think ultimately it'll end up for the better, and the loot boxes will be regular. Now, as for topic 3, I'll admit I've never really been a big fan of DMC, but personally, I'd like to see something set like maybe between 3 and 1. Because as I recall, chronologically, 1 comes after 3.
3, 1, 4, 2, 5.
Yeah, I thought so.
So just think of it this way: 31,405.
Yeah, so something set between 3 and 1. Maybe, as you mentioned, how he apparently did side work as a mercenary. Yeah, I think I agree. That'd be kind of cool to see. And maybe explore the lives of the people around Dante. Like, I'd be kind of curious to see a bit on, his brother. What was he doing around that time?
Yeah, like if they told Devil May Cry 1 from Virgil's perspective, that'd be kind of fucking interesting.
But yeah, that's pretty much all I got for topic 3. Though, you mentioned a crossover with Bayonetta. That would be awesome. Like, seriously.
Yeah, they could apply Bayonetta's hanging around because Dante still talks to Enzo, and Enzo is the Enzo from Bayonetta.
Alright, let's see here. Topic 4. Considering the direction many of them have been going, I don't think I'd let my kids play any of those JRPG.
What do you mean by direction, or do you mean just the fact that they're boring as fuck?
A lot of them focusing quite a lot on fan service.
Stop calling it fan service. Just say smut. See, this is why fan service turned into a derogatory term. Not to cut you off, but think about it. Okay. Fan service is supposed to just mean you're heavily showing something that fans are known to like within an entertainment platform. So if I like Kung Fu movies, Kung Fu fan service would be like, a dragging kick or a really good fight sequence. But when everyone associates it with smut and doesn't want to say the word smut, it's trying to hide. It's like when I see prostitutes trying to call themselves sex workers, like, motherfucker, what the hell is the difference? Well, we just feel like this is a more positive term. Like, your job's not positive. Don't get me wrong. People have to go into it for different reasons, but seriously, like, it doesn't do anything.
Yeah, so that aside, I probably wouldn't let him play any horror games, because, like you said, since the turn of the millennium, I suppose, they've been getting even more graphically impressive. I would not want my kids getting involved in any of that shit.
Also, Persona 5 is not a perfect game. The fact that it's getting 9s and 10s depresses me. I don't hate Persona 5, but the ranking system is totally off. What?
Why did you even bring that up?
Because when you mentioned things that you don't want them to play, and you said certain RPGs and shit, that's one of the biggest offenders right there, because no matter how they think and feel about their shit, they've been whoring out their characters ever since they hit it big on accident with Persona 4.
Yeah, P5 would definitely be one of those JRPGs I wouldn't let them. My
favorite one, Anne does not act like how she acts on screen. The writers and the designers have two different Anns in their head. It's kind of funny, but also it reminds me of so many fucking women I know. I don't want to be judged for my body. I don't go around dressing slutty and doing nothing nasty. You shouldn't make stereotyping assumptions. And then when I go and look at their Instagram, tit shot, ass shot. Oh, it's Wednesday. So because it's Wednesday, I got to show you my ass in the thong. Hashtag lewd, which means sexually offensive behavior. Or hashtag, what's the other one for sexy shit? Hashtag lewd, hashtag fan service. Ironically, isn't it? And I'm just like, so wait, you're mad someone treated you like you were acting, which was an attention whore who uses their body as an object? I'm not sure what you want me to tell you.
Let's see here. As big of a fan of StarCraft as I am, I probably wouldn't let my kids play that one either.
The fuck? Why StarCraft?
Well, things get honestly pretty violent.
First I'm hearing about it.
When a Marine dies in StarCraft 1, as I recall, they explode rather gorily.
Oh, okay. Alright, is there anything else, or was that it for you?
I can't really think of too many other games right now. Given more time, I could probably think of more, but
Okay. Well, Rookie, what you got for us? That means you, Corey. Can you hear him?
Nope.
Hey, Corey, check your mic settings.
Does it work now?
Yes.
Okay, I think it was my headphones.
You on push to talk, right?
Yeah.
Okay, because you got like a loud buzzing sound in the background.
Yeah, I'm trying to do the quietest place I could find. I'm at a shopping mall.
Oh, I thought you was at a barber shop for a second.
I fucking know.
Okay, well, lay it on us.
So, I can only think of one choice from all the characters from Cowboy Bebop. I thought Keanu Reeves for, Spike, and that was the only character I could think of anybody for.
I mean, hey, we're not going to force you to elongate your answer. If that's all you got, that's all you got.
I couldn't think of anybody else for like Faye or Ed or Jet.
Well, as long as they're under 50, I'm happy.
Is Keanu under 50?
Yes.
Cool. Topic 2. I don't honestly know too much about the loot box situation.
Yeah, you do. It's very simple. Loot boxing is gambling. It's random chance and you put in money. It's not supposed to be in video games based on the ESRB's rules. And the Federal Trade Commission got into their ass. Led by Senator Cortez Masto. It's telling you what's going on right there. So my question is, do you think that they're actually going to regulate themselves, or do you think the Federal Trade Commission is going to have to get up in that ass? It's very cut and dry.
I think the Federal Trade Commission is going to have to get up in their ass. Nothing's going to change for a while.
Why is it always funny when a white dude says that? Okay, well, I'm inclined to agree with you.
And then topic 3, Devil May Cry. I think start with 3. If you don't do 3, do 1, and then maybe do flashbacks to 3, or do parts of their childhood.
So you wanted to mix and match between current time and being a prequel or showing prequel stuff.
Yeah, but I don't think they'll do that because Ani started with Castlevania 3, so I think they're going to do Devil May Cry 3 and then do everything in order. But I'd like to see parts of their childhood.
As you're now imagining Kid Virgil kicking Kid Dante's ass.
Yeah.
No, I'm just curious about Virgil in general because think about it. Virgil is a hard ass and a cold motherfucker because of what happened when he was a child. So if we go back to before that time, how the fuck is he going to act?
True.
I'm so curious.
Does Dante have like a relation with his mom? Like, doesn't he like care about her a lot or something?
Oh yeah, it's really weird. It almost looked like they were implying that Dante and Trish fell in love, cause it was just set up weird. Because Trish is a demon who's been formed into a body that looks like his mom, or it's Trish. It's his mom converted into a demon. It's not really clear, and Trish doesn't go into details about her own past, which is another reason why I would like to get a cartoon show.
Yeah, that's a weird relationship thing. If that was the thing, I'm more like I think Dante and Lady.
Everybody seems to want to make them a couple.
If I had a preference, I would go. And then topic 4, which was, I'm assuming, based on what everyone's saying, is what games would you let your kids play?
Would you not let your kids play if they were under the age of 14? Or types of games?
It doesn't help that I grew up playing Grand Theft Auto. And probably the worst things possible. I remember playing crap with San Andreas. Yeah, no, I don't. I don't have like an idea for this, but I have an alternate kind of like answer to a different question. If it was like, what games would I let my kids play first? I would make them go back and play retro stuff first to appreciate the later stuff. But that doesn't really answer your question.
I mean, that's kind of implied. I think we all want to do that. But, I mean, well, you're technically one of the newer babies of the group. So theoretically, hey, if you didn't think about it, can't force you to think about it. That being said, as prophesized by people with common sense and knowing Disney is greedy, we've lost another struggle in the Netflix-based Marvel movies. Daredevil is canceled, even though season 3 is considered to be its best season and has performed the best.
It's the Disney streaming service.
Dude, everyone totally is called that. It's not even because of what the creative Iron Fist said. You know what's gonna happen next? Punisher.
Jessica Jones.
I wish they would at least leave Jessica Jones, because Jessica Jones is such an unimportant character that.
I kind of get into it.
Yeah, no, it's not that it wasn't a bad show. Far from it. It's just Jessica Jones is such an unimportant character that they could legitimately keep her show going and it wouldn't affect anything. But you know, they're stingy. That's right. I'm bringing back stingy.
Yeah.
All right, gentlemen.
Oh,
Yeah. Well, all right, gentlemen. This has been swell, but I have a part 2 to this that I have to do with another member of the podcast. The fuck? She is only able to come in on a Sunday, but you know, I'm just gonna cut it off and then pause it and then switch to her audio at a later date. So I appreciate you all for coming, and I will see you guys when I see you guys.
Fuck Konami.
That never gets old.